Hey everybody, good morning on this beautiful Friday. I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope you're doing better than Tesla is doing this morning, which is down quite a bit. It definitely is cruised right past the 800 level, which looked like it was going to be some support. But let's take a quick look at this. So on January 29th, the stock is almost exactly where it is, so 789, 790. And let's take a look at where we were at that same point, right? We were at 209,000, now we're at 231. So even though it's dropped back down, we're still $20,000 above where we're at. So about 9% or so up overall. Today, we're definitely down. Down $11,000, $12,000, and we'll see what it does. If there's any positions I feel are in danger, I'll go ahead and roll those down. I may roll those out and down a bit and use what's left as far as the extrinsic value or the time left in it to be able to do so. But other than that, I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the costs of trading. So we definitely know there's all the upfront obvious costs that anybody could tell you. So depending on the brokerage that you use, there are trading fees. There are sometimes an account value fee if you're trading on margin. Sometimes there is that fee. There is the obvious cost of buying a stock and then it going down and you potentially losing money in a trade. There's actually potential of you losing every dollar in a stock. It could go out of business. There are the costs of the collateral that you put up that is at risk to potentially lose 100% of. There are calls and puts that we buy just naked, and those have potential of losing those. There are short positions that have the cost of losing, losing way more than, like as we saw with the hedge funds. You could lose way more than you put up to cover those positions. But the non-obvious ones are the emotional and psychological taxes that this takes on you. So on these days where you're looking at your account, questioning every single thing that you did, and like, why am I trading? My account balance is so low. Why did I even wake up this week and try to do any of this at all whatsoever? It's just not worth it. And that is part of trading. That is one of the costs. It's not talked about very often, but it is definitely a cost. They, especially in the beginning, because maybe you haven't gone down through a few down times, and you haven't seen the other side of it. So at this point, I'm more comfortable with it. I see a stock going down. If I like it, it's something that I buy. I've bought a few shares of Tesla in the last few days. I've also opened up more put credit spreads as it's going down. I see that is the opportunity that I want to take advantage of. However, for the majority of people, and just emotionally, that's a difficult thing to do. If you think about when you've purchased just a stock before, right? And let's say you got one of these meme stocks, one of the weed stocks that everybody's been jumping into the last few days or this last week or so. Everybody's been pumping them up. Oh my God, it's the next greatest thing. So people jump into it and they buy it. And then a lot of you guys were up huge. We've seen accounts double if they bought enough of the stock. But then once their account doubles, emotionally, they're scared that they're going to lose out on future profits. So they could have put $10,000. Now they have $20,000 and they're like, oh, should I take this? Or can I make another 10,000? Is it going to 300%, 400%? And the more people that jump on because they see the skyrocketing happening. It just compounds it, and it goes up and up and up. And then the opposite happens on the downside, especially to those people who got in late. They see it's selling, so they see the price going down. And if they bought at the top, they're like, oh man, I've lost this much. I'm keep losing. You know, maybe some people try to hold and think it'll bounce back up, but especially with these pump and dumps and the just plain old meme stocks, it doesn't happen. There were not enough big changes to make that industry grow 300, 400, 500% for these stocks. That is why I didn't jump into them. I honestly didn't do a ton of research into them. I had the very basic questions in my head were, one, doesn't everybody who smokes weed, or doesn't everybody who want to smoke weed, don't they already smoke weed? And if they don't want to, they're not going to start because it's legal. And secondly, how can one company make the weed like so much better, or the tools so much better? It's not like there's been some crazy innovation in the industry. It didn't make sense in my head. I don't own any of it. I didn't jump in, and that was why I saw it skyrocketing. I hope you guys made some money. Good for you. But there just wasn't anything there for me. So yeah. But that's kind of a sidetrack. But I really want you guys to think about that when you're scared and you're selling stuff, as opposed to holding on to it or buying into something just because it's going up. It's the worst reason in the world to buy a stock is because it's going up. You need to buy it because you think it will go up, because you have a thesis, because you believe in the company, you see something in it, you see the market value is not where it should be. This is also why it is so important when we have our up days, when we take profits, when we sell out of something. You guys, you have to pay yourself. You absolutely have to. We have not had an up time this week, or the last couple weeks, but 2 weeks out of a year, that's not much at all, right? That's just a few percent of the time. But when everything goes up, when we roll out credit spreads and we take cash and we stick it in our account, it is so important that you take it out and pay yourself. So anyways, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. We'll probably check in a little bit later. Happy New Year's to anybody who celebrates New Year's today. I think it's whatever, Lunar New Year, Chinese New Year, Vietnamese New Year, Korean New Year, whole bunch of people's New Year. So, all right, guys, have a great day. Let's make a lot of money.